Should you use a booking software for your cleaning business website? This question has a lot of different opinions. I'm going to give you guys what I would recommend for you, depending on what stage you're at with your cleaning business. And this is just based off of anecdotal evidence that I've seen with my clients. And I'm sure there's some of you out there that have totally different opinions than me. And that's fine. Again, this is just my 2 cents and kind of what I've experienced. First, let's actually talk about booking softwares. What exactly are they and what do they do? So there's been a few companies over the past recent years that have made booking widgets that are pretty easy, user-friendly for both you as a cleaning business owner to install and navigate, as well as potential customers to be able to book themselves. And the whole idea is that with these widgets, you can install them on your website so that when new traffic makes it to your website, they have the availability to book themselves. So the typical questions that you might want to ask a potential customer: how many bedrooms their home is, how many bathrooms, type of service they're looking for specifically, when they're looking to get service done. And last but not least, at the end, they could upload their payment information so you guys can authorize their credit card ahead of time. So when you think about this from a big picture, this sounds like a very attractive option for a lot of business owners, because after all, if you can automate this process, why wouldn't you? Now, the reality is, anytime you're asking a bunch of questions to customers, you're creating specific hurdles for people to jump through. And anybody who's at least somewhat educated in marketing knows that the more information you require from a lead ahead of time, the less the conversion rates will be. Now, this can be a good thing or a bad thing. And I'm going to explain more towards the end of this video who should be using these softwares and who I actually recommend or don't recommend it to. But that is exactly what these booking softwares do, is it's more so a qualification process for the lead, in my opinion, than it is for a convenience factor for you as the business owner. So my experience with these softwares is that anytime you're running traffic to your website and you're asking these questions, I've typically seen the conversion rate to be a lot lower than, for example, sending someone to just a landing page or a website homepage that has a similar quote process, but with a lot less questions, and also doesn't ask for the payment information. And I think that last step with a lot of these booking forms, where you're basically asking for a credit card, throws them off. It creates unnecessary friction, and I don't recommend it if your ultimate goal is to be as cost efficient as possible and just trying to get as many leads to come in and really get an ROI on your advertising spend. Even taking one step back, and just some of the questions about the actual home could also be hurting your conversion rates, because a lot of times these booking forms will ask not just the basics in terms of how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what's the square footage, etc. But there'll also be other questions like, do you want these extra add-ons like refrigerator cleaning, oven cleaning? And sometimes people just don't even know what they want. You know, if you're thinking about a cold prospect, meaning someone who's never been to your website or used your service before, a lot of times they don't know what they need. So these questions just add unnecessary friction, in my opinion. Now, what I will say is that there are some companies who I think could massively benefit from a service like this. And the first scenario is people that already have a lot of volume coming to their website daily. If you have, let's say, hundreds, if not thousands of people visiting your website on a weekly basis, you have the leverage to turn away 95% of your traffic if you wanted to, because you're getting so much volume. And for these people, it probably makes sense to have these qualifiers ahead of time. Now, most of the time, these are going to be cleaning businesses that are more established. So they've been in business for several years, most likely. They're probably ranking at the top of the page on search engines organically. They probably have hundreds of Google reviews, hundreds of recurring clients. And as I said, you don't have time as a company to be trying to turn 100 leads every day into potential jobs. Instead, you might want to turn away 90 of them and only be working with, let's say, 10 ultra qualified people. So that's a scenario where I think these booking forms make sense. Another scenario would be for referrals, because if you're getting a referral from a trusted client, a loyal client, they're more likely to tell their friend or family member what a great business you are and build that trust ahead of time for you, so that they're less apprehensive about giving their credit card information on your booking form than a cold prospect. So ultimately, Whether you should use one of these forms or not really comes down to how seasoned your business is and how much you're willing to turn away to only get the cream of the crop, the really qualified leads, essentially. This is just a common misconception with a lot of new businesses. They think that they need something like this on their website, and that's why they're not getting business, when the reality is they just need more traffic, more marketing, essentially, not so much the booking form itself. So I just wanted to clarify that because it is a common misconception, as I said. So hopefully this helped you guys and gave you a better understanding of whether you should look into one of these booking forms for your site or not. Again, this is my experience with conversion rates. But anyways, if you have any questions, drop a comment below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and let me know what your experience has been with these booking forms. If you've ever tested sending traffic to like a more basic form versus one of these more popular forms, what's your conversion rate been like? What's your experience been like? I'd love to hear it. So drop a comment below. Aside from that, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll talk soon.